Hi, this is Daniel from P&P Campers in Gosport. Just doing your short walk around video of the Mclouis Tandy. Show you where most things are. So we left everything in the boot as that was already there. This bottom bunk here does actually fold down, so you can have it as another bed. Just close that. Just here is the cassette loo. This one has the water pumped to it from the fresh water tank, so you don't need to add any sort of pink chemical to it. You basically just lift this little lever here where my fingers are, slide it out. You should never have to sort of tug on it hard to sort of pull it out, and should there be any issues with it not pumping, there is a little fuse there which would be worth looking at if ever you get an issue, but normally they're pretty reliable. This is a vent for the heating and hot water. Again, nothing you should need to do to that unless you have an issue. When it's actually on, you will get a little bit of warm air coming out of it, just to let you know that it's working. Just under the left hand side here as well, this lever goes to the waste tank underneath the van. So if you pull on that lever, you can empty out all the waste. Just here is the fresh water, as it says on it. And just here, just twist this off, and you can put a hose into that and fill it up till it basically spills out. You have got a level indicator inside. They're not as accurate as perhaps a petrol gauge would be, but it gives you an idea of what's in there. Just here is the fuel filler cap, diesel obviously, and that will take the Fiat key itself, not the caravan keys. Just so you know where it is, just on the side of the dashboard is the bonnet release. Just there. Nothing else there to worry about. So just come around here under the bonnet. So you've got engine coolant, power steering fluid, windscreen washers, brake fluid, engine oil, and dipstick just here. Just over this side, you've got a connection there to your battery. Should you need to sort of jump start it, you can connect it up to there. There's also a little earth point just here, but it's been fully serviced, so everything's been done there. You only need to sort of just keep an eye on the levels as per normal. Let's come around to the driver's door. Nothing clever towards starting it, just key in and then it will start, just like that. So that's 38,942 miles, all running as it should. About a quarter of a tank of fuel. Reversing camera comes on automatically. You need to press the little power button on the top there just to make it come on fully. You also got air conditioning there, and reverse. You just pull up this little lever here, push it over and forwards, and then it'll go into reverse. And just on the stalk here, you've got the stalk for cruise control. And you've got a few buttons there, so you can actually lock the front doors and turn off the traction control if you have trouble with it slippery. Turn this back off. So on the side of this seat, there is a little red key. If you take that out, that will isolate the caravan electrics, the leisure battery and so on. You shouldn't really need to do that, but it's there if you want to do that. Gas locker, got a 6 kilogram propane bottle in there, already connected up. You basically, if you want to replace it, you unscrew this little joint here and unscrew it, and then you can replace it with another bottle. You've got space there for another one, and there's a spanner there to enable you to change that. That's connected up. It'll be turned off when you come to it. Awning just on the top there. On this right hand side there's a little loop there that you put the awning winding arm in. Unfortunately I can't do it with one hand, but you put the arm in it and twist, and it basically projects out like a shop front. And then there's a couple of legs that come out of it. There is instructions in there as to how to do that, but it basically, you wind it out, put the legs down, tighten them up, and then it's self-supporting. Just here is the mains hookup. You have that male and female lens on the cable, so you can't get that mixed up. And these two are fridge vents. Again, nothing you need to do to those. And when it's running, when the fridge is working, you will actually get a little bit of heat coming out of them. More from the top one. If we just go inside. Now, as we come in the door, just to your right, there is this little Victron Energy solar controller. So when it's nice and sunny like it is today, it's pumping in lots of power into the engine and the leisure batteries. So nothing you need to do there. Everything should stay well charged. If I, for example, well, you don't need to do anything to that, just leave it as it is. For example, if I press this check button, it's showing that the battery there is fully charged. So that's doing its job, doing everything it should be. I'll come back to that in a moment. So nothing too clever here. Obviously your ladder there to get up into this top bed. This will push up out of the way, so you can access into the cab here a bit easier. You've got a bunk safety net there, which will hook up. There'll be a couple of clips up the top here, so that you can hook it up. A couple of extra cushions there for when you make up the beds down below here. In the silver coloured stuff there is to go around the front windscreen, for overnight and so on, to keep the heat in and the cold out. And the opposite in summer. Nice big skylight on the top there, which opens up fully to let a bit more ventilation. Let me just carry on around. All these lights that are around do turn on and off manually, so they've all been checked, and that was lit up with the other switch, the switch I just did. In here is the TV. It's already plugged in, but it is a mains electric TV, so it's just plugged into the 240 volt sockets there. So that will only work when you're plugged into an electric on the campsite, or if you're plugged in at home. There's a little lever there just to release it, and you can slide it out, swivel it around, and the remote control's just in there as well. Alright, there's nothing clever in these cupboards. You need to sort of push down on these levers to open up these cupboards. Those wires there, because the solar panel has been fitted, so there'll be wires going down to the engine battery. Okay, so we'll have a look at this control panel. So this button here would be how you would turn on the power. You see there's a little power sign there. If you leave it for any long amount of time, it will go to sort of sleep mode, and you will have to hold your finger on this for a few seconds to actually wake it back up again. If it's just being used generally, then you can just press the button and everything will come on. If you see this here, all this is doing is just checking the power and water that we've got. So as you see there, it's showing you the caravan, the battery's fully charged, engine battery fully charged, and just over here is showing that the freshwater tank, because it's showing a tank there with a little filler on the top, is about half full basically. And you've got wastewater tanks underneath the van, as per the lever I showed you on the outside, so that you can empty the wastewater out, and that will show you when it's over sort of 2/3 full. Again, they're not as reliable as a petrol gauge are, but it gives you a good idea about how much water you've got and when it wants to be emptied. So these switches here, interior lights and power. Don't know if you just heard that, but as I turned that off, this interior fan went off as well. I'll turn it back on. So that does most of the 12 volt on the inside of the van and the lights. That's if you've got an outside awning light. Water pump. Obviously when the lights are green, it means that they're on and working. An auxiliary, so any additional 12 volt items that have been fitted will be working off that auxiliary. So if you've got these three on, everything should work. When you plug in an electric cable, the hookup, that will glow green to show you that it's working and charging. With this one, where it's got this large solar panel on the roof, you will find that everything stays pretty well charged all the time. So that's a pretty good extra to have. On the end there, just in case you wonder, it's a little isolator for the fridge on mains electric. So if it should trip out, you've got a little fuse there, just like you would have a sort of 13 amp fuse and a plug. Just here, a little extractor fan and lights, all operating. Yeah, no surprises there. That's the chopping board over the sink. So you've got a normal mixer tap there, just like you would have at home. Because the water pump is turned on, you've got water coming out. I'm just coming here to the fridge. They've got these little travel catches, so that when you've got food in there, it doesn't sort of slide open as you're driving. Yeah, a little bit tricky with one hand, but it's working. Right, okay, so the controls here, this is the selection on the left hand side for the power that you want to use, and the right hand side one here is for the temperature. So if we start at the top here, they're showing a little flame, so it's the gas. If I turn this knob, it should light up. There you go, and it actually flashed a couple of times and then it stayed on, which means it's lit and working. It doesn't always work that quickly, especially if you've only just turned on the gas bottle. But here it's lit straight away. But yeah, if you've only just changed the gas bottle, sometimes it can take a few goes to actually make it work, mainly because it's just trying to get the gas up to the appliance. Mains hookup, so again, when you're plugged in on mains, that will actually work off the mains. Battery, that will work off the leisure battery as your engine's running and driving. It won't work if you're just parked up in a lay-by. And auto should use the most efficient energy source, which in a moment it should choose gas because it can't use anything else. Just while it's doing that, just here, the sort of ventilation button, it will actually keep the outside of the fridge cool and sort of get rid of any water that's built up around the fridge. It will actually sort of get rid of that. And just here you can see there the gauge showing the temperature. Alright, just moving around, obviously just the rear bed. We've got the ladder connected on there. End of the table there, so you can make it a much bigger table. There's the winder for the awning. Little shoe cupboard maybe. Right, so it's very much like a household cooker. Light up. It's not a very good light actually in here for this. That's the right hand side one. This is not very good light there for that. But it's basically just like a household one. You got a grill there with grill pan, oven, another tray. You probably want a couple of tea towels to stop those rattling around. And a little pan drawer at the bottom there. Just in here you've got some gas isolation taps, so if something doesn't work or you need to isolate something, you can get to it just there. A couple of 240 volt sockets there at the end of the kitchen. Little switches there for the interior lights as you come in, so the switch there would light up that internal one up there. I think this one here will work off the switch. So this table will actually pull out towards me, and the other piece of table would slot in the back against the wall there to make it a bigger table so that the people on the other side here can eat as well. Just over here, So here's the control for the boiler. Try and get that in focus a little bit. Basically, to use the boiler and the heating on the gas, just turn this dial up to the top here. You've got two different temperatures, 40 and 60 degrees. That'll operate it just on gas. Turning the knob down to the right there is heating. The next one down is hot water and heating. So once you've actually chosen what you want, I mean at the moment it's too hot, so you just want it on hot water. You can then choose on this lower one whether you want just electric, high electric power, low electric power, just gas, gas and electric low, gas and electric high. So it's basically like a real boost to using gas and electric. It will heat it up a lot faster. But if you want to use the mains electric, it will sort of heat it up, but it will heat it up slowly, not as fast as the gas operation. And the central dial there on the top is to adjust the heating. Now, I'll be honest, I don't normally do the videos, my son does, and he's actually a lot better than me, but unfortunately he's not here. So I apologise if I haven't covered anything. But if it raises any questions, I am able to answer anything. But here, we're just going in the bathroom. I think there should be most things covered. So that fan above your head is a godsend. That really does work well. So, because the pump's on, that's working. Hot and cold. You got a button here at the back for the flush, for the loo. I don't know if you can hear that. You can see it there. Little lever on the side here that empties the waste into the actual cassette. I won't turn it, but you've got the lever there for the mixer tap for the shower. Must admit, this little thing's just come off the end of the tap there. I'm going to pop that on in a moment. But that really does work well. You can adjust it faster as well. This knob on the left. You can adjust it if you're cooking bacon, for example. You press this little button here and it will extract as well, so it's in the air out. You need this little lever here just to open it and close it. There you go. So if you've got any questions, don't hesitate to ask, but I'll send this through in a minute, and hopefully see you tomorrow. All the best. Thank you.